Back on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell, live from the Connecticut Fishing and Outdoors Show at Mohegan today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And one of the guys doing a great seminar, I met him in the line trying to get in here. Matt and I couldn't even get in this place because it was so packed.
Oh, this is the guy that was held up with you.
So
wasn't me, man. Never me.
Matt Swedish is talking about turkey hunting and cooking, field to flame. But you have so many things going on. But let's talk about why you're here. And I was just doing the cook and catch thing down in Florida. So this is very similar.
Awesome.
I know. So
what was the thing you caught down there?
We caught black grouper, red grouper, some red snapper, and we brought in
those are good eats.
The grouper, and they cooked it up, and they just charged you the plate amount of regular plate of fish, and they cooked it up. I got mine fried because I'm soft. They all got theirs blackened, but it was amazing.
Dude,
absolutely
that's a southern
amazing
gig, though, man. You got to fry it, man.
Right?
That's what
I'm
I thought.
from Connecticut,
right?
I'm from Connecticut. See,
that's
again,
true, right?
and so and my business partner and best friend Jerry, he's from here. He went to Fordham, and he's a lawyer here in Connecticut and stuff. So he likes spicy because he's half Irish, half Italian. I'm not. I'm a mutt. I'm a bunch of things.
Any way
so.
you like it, though, right?
Exactly, man.
Like
just enjoy it, and that's. We are doing some seminars this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, and I've got a video series called Real Outdoors TV that we do hunting, fishing, all that kind of stuff. And what's great is that we try to just show the real passion about it. And getting involved with my buddy Van, who's a Hell's Kitchen chef, he's just kind of getting into it. He's finding his own way. And like during the COVID thing, which we've all experienced, his father was a big outdoorsman. And he's like, you know what? I've always been around it. I love cooking it. Something just switched and something flipped in my head and said, I got to get out there. I enjoy eating it. I enjoy cooking it. Now I got to figure out how to get it. So that's how we teamed up. And that's what we're doing here this weekend. We're talking advanced turkey hunting tactics. So we're going to be talking about getting out there, going after them, communicating, talking bird language, all the do's and don'ts. And then the whole idea of the outdoors is sharing it. You got the chest pounders, you got those guys that are out there, the trophy guys and all that. But you know what? When it comes down to it, I was brought up, excuse me, and it was about, let me kind of regress one minute here. My first deer that I ever got, amazing experience. I can remember it like it was yesterday. But what is just as powerful is when I sat down to dinner and we're sitting down with my brother, my mother, my father, and my dad stops us before we eat. And I'm 12 years old. And he goes, Matt fed the family tonight. And at 12, man, I can't, it still balls me up. You know what I mean? But there's something special about the outdoors.
Absolutely.
And it's not about pulling the trigger. It's about the experience. It's about that passion. It's about, hearing that owl. It's about seeing that bird or seeing that raccoon that's trying to get back before it gets light. All these different things that we see out there that in the normal hustle and bustle of everyday life, we just never experience.
Right.
We see birds flying, we hear, crows crowing and all that. And, every once in a while you're sitting there during the summer and, your windows are open, you're, and you get your owl. But what does he look on that limb? How does he look? When they really start going ballistic out there and experiencing that, it's just different. And that triggers you, and it gets deep in your soul. And to be able to take that experience and what you do out there and have it culminate with sharing it with a dinner, that's the whole idea of Thanksgiving. Sharing it with family and friends.
Well, I think too, just growing up in the family of always having venison around in fall and when the time is, and the respect that you gain of where your food comes from beyond that dinner. Yep. To where when you go to McDonald's or whatever fast food, right, to know that, even though it's easy for you at this moment to get, someone somehow had to get that food for you. Yep. And it's such a good tool, a teacher on all the things as far as how to shoot, how to dress, how to do all that stuff, how to literally dress yourself, camouflage. But the best lesson is the respect in so many different ways: animals, nature, and one another, human beings.
Everything. I don't want to get into a whole bunch of stuff, but the whole idea of hunting has a bad rap because of firearms. But when I was brought up,
It's another respect.
there is a respect,
Right,
man.
right.
And we had when my parents went away, we had one of those gun cabinets that it was glass front.
Right.
It wasn't a big locked cabinet.
Right.
You see what's there. They never got touched. There was never an inkling. We went to high school and there was the 22 in the back window.
We were talking about this.
And what did the teachers say? They said, "Oh, put it behind the seat."
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a respect back then that I think was for just everybody, not just for a firearm, because I can remember when I got that deer, my first deer, I jumped out of that tree and I went down and I looked down and my hammer was back. And I'm like, oh man, I must have hit it. Well, I opened it up and there was a live round in there and I jacked that thing out. And I'm like, you know what? If my dad realized I did it, I just lost my entire life of being in the field. It wasn't like, oops.
Right.
I mean, it was a core to the soul. I did the worst thing you could ever do. I mean, it affected me to the point where I think about it every time I'm out there, and it happened when I was 12. And there was nobody reprimanding me.
Right.
There's just a difference, and it's, I think the outdoors just brings a total, it's a beauty of life, man. It gets you away from the electronics. It gets you away from the hustle and bustle. All the stuff out there. I always say when I go fishing, I'm a jerk on one end of the rod waiting for a jerk at the other, and but what I love about that is that it consumes all your senses. You listen to the water. I mean, Rob, you were just on the water. So you're out there, the splashing of the waves hitting the boat. You're paying attention to your balance, and every muscle in your body is working to keep your balance. You don't realize it, but that's why you're exhausted at the end of the day. You didn't do anything, but you've been keeping your balance for the past 6 hours.
Right. You don't want to fall overboard.
Right. So you're concentrating on your balance. You're hearing the seagulls. You're getting a little bird coming and landing on your fingers.
That was amazing. 100 miles out, and a little bird landed on my shoulder. That's not the outdoors and a sign. I don't know what is.
It is, man. It's you connect. There's a different thing. So you're out there and you're smelling it. And your senses are consumed for where is my bait? What am I doing? And then waiting for that hit. And then if it does, if we're lucky enough, now all of a sudden the adrenaline kicks in. And I'll tell you what, if there's ever a drug that's created that could represent what Mother Nature does to you, give it to me, man.
Right.
Feed it.
Well, I agree. And we're talking to Matt Swedish, and come listen to him. He's going to be talking all weekend about being outdoors and bringing in turkeys and talking turkeys. My first experience with a bow was my teammate in the minor leagues with Norm Charlton. And
it wasn't with Gross?
No, it was not with Kevin Gross. And again, another great guy, another great hunter. And Norm showed me how to, and I had shot arrows before, and you shoot them in gym class, stuff like that. But until you've shot one with actually 3 razor blades called a broadhead, you can't appreciate how dangerous shooting a bow is. And the appreciation that Norm showed me, how to shoot a bow, how to stalk your prey, all that kind of stuff. But my appreciation, like you're talking about, going out at 3:30 in the morning in the dark, I get chills thinking about it. And I've got, because I have a fear of the dark and the unknown. And it's always been something that I have to always press through, go out. You've got a little pen light you're walking through to get up to your stand, things like that. And it's weird. I'm getting chills right now thinking about it, because to me, the experience, not just taking down a deer, not just harvesting, I don't even like to call it killing. It's harvesting and, like you said, feeding your family.
Yep.
I've fed different, we used to do this in Ohio. We've done it in South Carolina, where you're feeding the needy.
Yeah.
with
Oh,
deer.
absolutely.
You go out and you get deer to feed people, and I've talked to Ben about this, that there should be more hunts like that where, if there's plentiful stuff out there, use it to feed the needy. But for me, it is an appreciation of Mother Earth. Even if you're
Yep.
out there for 8-10 hours and you don't get anything, it's still like you said, when you're waiting for a deer and there's a little chipmunk running by and there's a squirrel running by and then a bird flutters by. I mean, there's so many different things that are catching your attention and your senses. Unless you experience that, whether you're out on a kayak and you're out on a calm lake
Exactly.
or a pond
It doesn't
or whatever.
need to be with a gun.
It doesn't need to be with a gun. And trust me, and it's scary sometimes when you walk out there with a bow. And yes, I do have a sidearm that I carry in case there's a bear out there.
Wow, he really is scared.
Oh yeah. Well, when I lived out in West Simsbury and you're up by New Hartford, there's
bears
of bears everywhere. But other than that, man, it's you and a bow, and it's you and the deer, and it's an experience. I can't like you said. I've experienced the adrenaline of being on a World Series team and playing in the World Series. The adrenaline of being out there in a deer stand and a deer coming towards you is second to none. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Makes you want to do it again and again and again. And it's not, and now I'm in photography and videography and watching stuff like that. I love all of that. Yeah. I've gotten more into that now than actually going out there and hunting now. I'm more into, watching nature than anything.
I'll remember that if we go up to the lease.
Well,
he's backpedaling now.
I'm but hopefully I've never duck hunted. So, I'd love to, that's one of my things. I would love to duck hunt, I mean, you're calling in the turkeys. Explain that. How do you call in turkeys?
Well,
how do you talk to them?
There's all sorts of different calls, and there's techniques, whether it be a box call, they call them friction calls, box calls, slate calls, mouth calls, all that. Everybody wants to do the mouth call just because you don't need your hands. And it does sound very natural once you get good at it. But there's a language. There's a language to what you're saying. Just like the way we communicate, dolphins, whales, I mean, you name it. Every species out there has a means of communication. So to me, I grew up in a musical family. My father played the trumpet. I can remember waking up on mornings back in the 70s with my mother playing Scott Joplin ragtime on the piano, and the smell of her baking cookies. My brother played like everything under the sun. I took piano lessons, drum lessons, guitar lessons, and to me, I looked at music and I saw upside down lollipops with flags on them. That's all I got, but I had an ear. I had an ear for it. So getting into calling, to me, it wasn't as much making a turkey sound or a goose sound or whatever it was that was out there, or duck. It was creating a tonal quality out of a musical instrument. And that's the way I treated it. Because I can pick out things in a song. I know that I suck for singing. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can.
I mean, I am freaking horrible for singing. And I know that because I know tone. I know I can tell. So I can pick out pitches and sound qualities and stuff out of birds and mimic them. It's just, I think I attribute it to the music. And
most likely, yeah.
So it's always come very easy to me. And I shouldn't say easy. I'm putting in thousands of hours. And, I've taken multiple state calling championships with turkey. I've called at the Grand Nationals. I've won waterfowl calling contests. I've judged the worlds for goose, the whole deal.
All right. So teach me some turkey, man. Are you telling me that there's some dictionary out there that whoop, whoop means like, hey, come here, and then whoop, whoop, that actually means
you're looking
get
good.
out of here.
To a point.
There's an actual interpretation with these dumb bird brains and what they're actually saying out in the woods. Okay. He's putting the reed.
Yeah.
So you like to you have this piece of plastic, basically, your turkey call, but you're getting it wet. You're trying to get it all sopped up and ready to go. He's got all the way in his mouth.
We got it.
Okay.
So this is basically it's an aluminum frame with this is cut basically a Johnson & Johnson tape around the outside of it, just colored. And there's 3 pieces of stretched latex in between that U-shaped, horseshoe-shaped frame.
And I'm guessing that's the vibration that you get.
That's it.
Okay.
You put your tongue pressure like that,
Okay.
and you blow through it.
Okay.
It's not quite that easy, but
Right.
so basic communication is a yelp. And what, you know,
Awesome.
You had this little girl actually.
There's all these people. Is there a turkey in here?
So what I always try to tell people is that, you know, you can make a sound, but just like if I was talking to you guys, all right, if I'm going to talk to Rob and I'm going to ask you out goose hunting, I'm going to say, Rob, I got a really good place to goose hunt. Do you want to go? You're going to be like, I guess. But if I go, Rob, dude, I got this insane place to go goose hunting, man. It's absolutely crazy. You got to go. You're going to be like, yes. And you're going to freak out. Okay. So you got to put influx. You have to put.
You're basing it off of the inflection
right.
that you're hearing. Okay.
So, you know, a basic yelp. Okay, that messed up.
Sounded great.
We can't tell the difference.
No influx.
Okay.
Okay. So now you get a bird that's going to have a little bit of pleading to it and get into a a yelp to a more pleading come in. Okay. So it's going to start out clean, get raspier and more of influx into the sound.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Now, when they get excited, they do what's called a cutting. So there's a sharp cut, and that shows an excited hen. And you can mix that up with the yelp. So the original cutting is just like this. Now, if you mix that in with the yelp,
yeah.
Oh my God,
they're cracking up here. I just got to let you know.
That is tremendous.
That was wonderful.
So
now, did you know how good you were by?
How do you know how good you are?
No,
they're taking pictures of you, dude, not me.
No, they're taking pictures of all of us. But let me ask you though. I mean, when the turkeys start coming in, you're going, "Oh, I must be doing it right."
You know what? There's definitely when you put in. Well, dude, you're a player. Okay, you can hit a ball, and then you can know how to hit a ball. You can learn how to slow that ball down as it comes to you, and you can watch its rotation. You know where it's going. You know there's every aspect of every sport. You know when you've gotten there. Whether you're a dart player at a board, you know, in the bar, and you know that you can drill 2 out of 3 bulls every time you throw, or you know you can watch the threads on that baseball coming at you. You know, there's just it gets to a level where you've put that much time in,
right?
And the sport changes, and I definitely noticed when the sport changed. There's no doubt. Do I consider myself good? Do I consider myself, you know, at a different level? No. I'm the same as everybody out there, man. You know, I've messed up more.
You put more money into it.
You know, so I know what I don't do, you know, but I can tell you this, you know, when I did put that time in and I got to a level of calling that it was really different from everything else. Oh, it made a difference. Yeah, things got real quick.
Matt Swedish, Field to Flame, turkey hunting and cooking. Let's see. Tomorrow you're on at 10:30.
Yeah,
and then you're on again at 2 p.m.
Yep, and you got to come check out Van. I mean, he's a wild child, man. He's a Hell's Kitchen finalist.
And you're going to talk about how to cook it up and
he's
everything.
He's going to show it, man. He's doing.
He's going to cook it right in front of everybody.
Like the what do you call it? The risotto that Ramsey kind of gives everybody crap about, you know, doing it wrong. He's going to do a wild turkey, wild wild mushroom, wild turkey risotto.
And then you're here on Sunday at
You
noon.
got it.
Matt, thank you so much for coming
got
on,
it,
man.
brother.
Really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
I appreciate
All
you
right.
guys.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back from the Connecticut Fishing and Outdoor Show.